Boom, 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 boom. But it is Friday here at CTM, right? So it could be a little bit more laid back. Nevertheless, as the market, I feel like we're so well prepared for what is happening right now. A lot of people on a break of 35,000, they might turn a lot more bearish than they've been on Bitcoin, and rightfully so, right? Breaking down from where we are right now. I keep talking about why it's such an important level. I'm going to zoom out a little bit over here. Breaking down, we could be looking at and testing the lows from the summer, 28,000 Bitcoin, and that could break. Now, in between, there's lots of area of interest, including Luke this morning on Twitter, showing right around 33,000. You can see that's the low over here from January as well, the yearly low, but a breakdown over here of 35,000. That opens up the door. Mainly what I see is potential forced liquidations. A lot of people did not delever up at 53,000, and those people most likely will be getting some margin calls if we break down. I have no idea how long it lasts, if we see any type of break or where it goes. That's why we're just waiting to get the next buy signal, and it was beautiful this past week, waiting for the next green bar over here to get back in the market. It was beautiful what happened over here this past week. And you can see this week, it looked like we were getting ready to go long over here coming off the Fed meeting. I mean, it's really important. And from the very beginning, we said we want to just point out all incidences over CTM 1.0 or over 2.0 of when CTM 2.0 it clearly did a better action than what most participants probably would have thought at the time. And here's one of those examples, and it just did a fantastic job. And there, regardless of how far Bitcoin goes down, right? Because I don't know that. What I do know is that there's going to be relief rallies along the way until Bitcoin finally bottoms out and begins that next bull run, right? So whether or not, how you want to define things, either way, we're down over 50% off the all-time high. Nevertheless, even if we go lower, and by the way, for 52%, even if we do go lower at that point, I would expect more volatility. That might offer some of the best long entries. That's usually what happens in the past is coming off correction is when Bitcoin really is able to go ahead and make some nice moves. A clear example in that big March 2020 crash. And every time, and coming out of the bottoms of all bear markets, it was after the big dump down that all of a sudden opportunity starts on Bitcoin. And that's what I expect to be happening from here if Bitcoin breaks down. Remember, Luke shared this chart. This is going back April the 21st, so just a couple of weeks ago. And it was a beautiful chart showing the bear flag over here, showing the channel, and we're right to the bottom of that channel right now. So that if that holds, that's a green, right? And you can see where we are, and it's a beautiful vantage point to be looking. And yes, if we break down, there could be some further downside. Look, we'll wait and see if that happens. Right now, we're looking for that support to hold. And if it does hold, that's a massive hold. Darius also mentioned he was expecting in the third or fourth quarter is when things break down, not now. That's, we talked about, or I've been talking about, although while I was looking for a relief rally around the middle of March at the beginning of the rate hike cycle, it got suppressed a lot quicker, knocked down a lot quicker than I thought. It's possible that things break now, but at the same time, it's still going forward. We're not out of the woods, even if we hold over here. If we're able to resume upwards, we're still for the foreseeable future cautious and at times cautiously optimistic until the Fed pivots. That's the green light for what we've accomplished and what we've done over here, specifically in the last 6-7 weeks, is just nothing better could be being built at this time. The biggest thing on my mind today is 35,000, just different vantage points and watching it, right? The 37, breakdown of the bear flag. 37 was held for a moment, broke down. 35 testing right now. Watch out below if we break. All the important technical levels. We did this at 53,000, but we know what happened. And this is another one. So I'm just making sure that everyone understands and knows, hey, listen, you don't know what happens under here. This is a big technical level. What happens coming into the close on this Friday and this weekend It looks like some people are ready to take some profits, right? Some people squaring up positions, locking in some perhaps games from some good position and momentum trading after the Federal Reserve. If that changes going into the close, that would be worrisome. And then you could expect over the weekend perhaps some further downside on Bitcoin. The great thing about Bitcoin is that it does trade 24/7. So you have a really good proxy for what's going on in the overall markets throughout the weekend by following what's going on Bitcoin. Oh, let's take a look at gaps coming into the weekend over here. This is the S&P 500. Just rough sketches over here, connecting it back to where it looks like it's potentially finding support. If it breaks down, we're very close to it. Here's the March low over here, and then on a closing basis, you could see that we will be closing below. Let's pull up a weekly chart. I'm on a 2-day over here. Let me go to a weekly chart. It would be a close below the March lows. So very dangerous situation over here. What about the NASDAQ? Let me get a clean look at that as well. Yes. Oh, I wanted to look at the CME. Let's check the closest gaps that we are to market right now. We have a gap below us currently over here at 32,000. So we have some important levels right around 33,000. Gap close at 32,000. Below that, it gets really, really sketchy as far as CME and any type of gaps being closed. The next gap comes in at 23,000. I don't think that gap is ever going to get closed, but watch what would happen if we are seeing any type of disorderly breakage, losing something like channel support at 35,000. It potentially then, like I said, that opens up liquidations. Let's get a good look at it as we talk about it, right? So a break below that 35,000, that opens up potential liquidations, and what that happens and what looks like, I mean, really, I don't know. I don't think that we're going to be able to close this gap down to 23,685, but it is possible that we close this one over here at 32,000. So we'll be watching that, and I say what my expectations are. My expectations is Bitcoin doesn't trade below $28,000. This is why. The way that Darius put it, that he considers to be the smart money himself, that he's going to be looking to back up the truck if he were to get this lucky that Bitcoin would come down to $28,000. He doesn't think so. I mean, he doesn't think even under this current, let's call it Fed destruction that's taking place, he doesn't think even with any further unwinding that we get that far. I often try to remind people that this was under global lockdowns that we got that far down as far as a deviation. And look, it's not a given it holds. That could break as well. And if it does, then something's different. Feels good holding in spot. Yeah. Ever since Bitcoin's been running, you could see that the dollar has gained in strength compared to other fiat. Compared to other fiat, but Bitcoin against that dollar, even why that dollar continues to appreciate. Obviously, let's throw it up there. Let's end with this. It's not even fair, right? There's Bitcoin versus the dollar, as that dollar without Bitcoin just continues to strengthen and strengthen and strengthen around everything else. Here going back to 2009, and then how does Bitcoin perform? And then you go over there and just light it up, and Bitcoin is obviously just continues to crush the US dollar. If the dollar does come off, we're looking at de-dollarization taking place. It's very complicated. There's no question for the foreseeable future that the US dollar plays the most important role in global trade and the financial system. That's not going to look the same 5 years from now. That's not going to look the same 10 years from now, and 20 years from now. It's not even going to resemble itself. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I hope that you have a great weekend. Really grateful to be here with you all, and I look forward to seeing you all again on Monday. Have a great day, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you all on Monday.